GDP is all up full in my area. I can't get onto the housing ladder and have 3 kids in one room. The place where I grew up was a lovely area, but is now a no-go zone. How is the EU and uncontrolled immigration working for me, a 40-year-old Brit who has been working full-time since the age of 16?
Well, what I'd say is I think there are good ways of controlling immigration, and I think there are bad ways of controlling immigration. A good way is what I just explained, of saying that people can come here, they can work, they can contribute, but they have to pay in before they get out. And when it comes to immigration from outside the EU, which of course is more than half, we do put a limit on the numbers that come for economic reasons. But I would say, really frankly, that I think if we want to build houses, if we want to invest in our health service, if we want good schools for our children, we've got to strengthen and safeguard our economy. And pulling out of the single market, which is what the Leave campaign want to do, that would damage our economy. Nigel Farage said it. He kept on talking about GDP isn't all that matters. GDP is the size of our economy. It's the combination of all the wealth that our country creates. He's basically saying it doesn't really matter. He's so keen to get us out of Europe that he's prepared to sacrifice jobs and growth on the way. We mustn't do that. That's not the way to build houses or provide the health service we need.
Sorry, Mr. Cameron, I voted for you in the last election because one of the things on your manifesto was to get immigration down. You haven't been able to do that because you're not allowed to do that. That's the bottom line. So how are you, I can see my standard of living and my family's standard of living going down because of this influx that we can't control. Now, I'm sorry to say, but your closing statement last week was that if we leave the EU, we're rolling a dice with our children's future. I think quite the opposite. By you telling us to stay in, you've rolled that dice already.
Well, obviously, Obviously, I don't agree with that. I think the biggest risk we can take is to pull out of the EU, pull out of the single market, damage our businesses, damage jobs, and there'll be fewer opportunities for our children and grandchildren. And I say again, I hope that when people go to vote on June the 23rd, they think about their children and grandchildren. They think about the jobs and the opportunities they want for them, the sort of country that we want to build together, and they vote to say, we don't want little England of Nigel Farage. We want to be Great Britain, and we're great if we stay in these organisations and fight for the sort of values we believe in.
We want to stay on this issue.